What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Charter Podcast, brought to you by St. Xavier University. Ruthie, Polinsky, 𝗂𝗏𝗏, Thanksgiving edition of the Charter Podcast. Clay, I'm coming to you live from St. Louis, Missouri, my hometown. Where are you?
Clayton, Missouri. Anyways.
Clayton. Yeah, Clayton.
I'm in Chicago.
Go Greyhounds.
Clayton. Ruthie's from my name, Clayton. My name is actually Clayton, not 𝗂𝗏𝗏, Clayton Harbor. Mm-hmm. But I'm in River North, downtown Chicago, in my condo here. Just very windy. I rode my bike to the gym today, and I almost got blown away like Mary Poppins. Didn't Mary Poppins used to like float away in like an umbrella or something? Yes. But I was like, oh my God. I'm like,
you're like the Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz. You know, how she's riding her bike through the tornado?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'm like, man, I could literally get blown into traffic right here. And I was fighting. And I'm like, if anybody's biking out there this weekend, be careful or just don't.
I drove to St. Louis this morning in that wind. My car was getting shaken. I can't imagine you on a bike. Would have been wild. It's a good thing they're not playing at Soldier Field this weekend, huh? I think the wind's going to be
probably
crazy.
Not as bad as Philly. Yeah.
I think Philly may have some wind too. So I bet the Bears had a nice little practice up at 𝗏𝗏 Hall today, getting ready for that. Imagine practicing in that. Crazy.
Oh yeah. Nuts.
Clay, happy Thanksgiving to you. Let's get into this a little bit here because the Bears are playing Black Friday. So we're coming to you on a Wednesday. We have yet to see the final injury report. And I believe the Bears have until Thursday afternoon to activate Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon onto the active 53-man roster. So we're taping this at a time where there are still some unknowns. What I think is pretty clear at this juncture, Clay, is that the linebacking core for the Bears is going to once again be very shorthanded. So I want to get into that with you because obviously they were able to hold their own, great performances from guys, a lot of guys able to step up, next man up mentality for 𝗦𝗏𝗶𝗹 as well as DeMarco Jackson, who are probably going to get their numbers called again this weekend, considering Ruben Hippolyte was also injured early in that game. What is your confidence level in this Bears defense going up against your Philadelphia Eagles? Eagles fly. Just kidding. Just to clarify for our viewers, we do want everyone to know that the Eagles are the team that drafted you, 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏, in the 4th round. So you always have a special place in your heart for them.
My number one team is the Bears. I grew up, born and raised a Chicago Bears fan. My first game ever been to, all the games growing up, Chicago Bears, born in Libertyville, Illinois, lived in Waukegan, from Central Illinois, Dwight, Illinois. Bear down, baby. But my number two team, the team that drafted me, the Philadelphia Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly. So this one's tugging at my heartstrings a little bit, but loyalties still lie in Chicago with the hometown. Great question. Banged up linebacking crew. How will they stop this Eagles offense? I actually like the matchups that we're seeing here this week. I think when I went back and watched the All-22, 𝗦𝗏𝗶𝗹 was getting off of blocks. He was playing. He wasn't playing like a backup. He cut it loose. He was playing fast and reckless to a point, but that's what you want to see for a guy that hasn't gotten many snaps at all in his NFL career. And same for DeMarco Jackson. Like this guy, they're both playing good linebacker. I know it was one game, and the Steelers aren't a great running team like historically the Eagles are. This year is a down year for the Eagles. Lane Johnson has a Liz Frank injury. That would be one of my biggest issues for the Bears. Lane Johnson is just an absolute monster, man-child beast of a human. He looks like the mountain from Game of Thrones. I played with Lane. Unbelievable player, human, all of the above. He's out with a Liz Frank injury. Instead of Lane Johnson, we get Fred Johnson. Fred isn't bad, but he's not Lane. And here's an interesting stat. Ruthie knows I love my stats. Over the last 3 weeks, since the Eagles bye week, they don't have two. They have ran the ball with Saquon Barkley for 58 carries. They have 165 yards, no touchdowns, averaging 2.8 yards per carry. The longest run he had is 15 yards. Bears' run defense is the third worst in the NFL, and they haven't been great of late. But if you really look at that game last week, in the box score it says 180 yards given up to the Pittsburgh Steelers, minus the push the push reverse was 60 yards, 55 to Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah.
They only gave up 3.2 yards per carry. In the second half, they only gave up 60 total rushing yards. So I think this Bears run defense is trending in the right direction. The D-line was doing a good job of filling gaps, holding the point, and the linebackers were doing a good job of getting off of blocks. And I was also impressed with the way the defensive backs were playing in the run game too. Shout out to Al Harris. Nahshon Wright was up there. CD Gardner-Johnson was a guy that was very physical on the line. Even Nick McLeod, when he was in there, he was a guy that was making tackles too. So surprisingly, I am actually kind of confident for the Bears against Saquon Barkley.
Okay, that's good news. And I think everyone's kind of under the impression of this isn't Saquon Barkley of last year. He hasn't taken off the way that I think everyone was hoping he would, at least in Philadelphia. I am just here in this kitchen with my mom and sisters, and I asked them to be quiet for 30 minutes, and we got alarms going off. My mom's baking. She's slamming dishes. Can you guys hear it? No?
I can't hear anything.
Oh, great. Okay, love it.
I heard the alarm, but...
You did hear the alarm. Okay, well, that's all right. Everyone, my mom says hi. She's picking the Bears this weekend. Oh, she's making an apple pie. If for our listeners on, check this out. Whoa!
Oh, wow. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming over.
Come on over, Clay. It's only 4.5 hours.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And my sisters are getting a kick out of that. Mom, that's stunning. We got apple pie. It smells delicious in this house.
I can smell it.
And you know who we hope is not cooking on Friday is Saquon Barkley to get back to this. Okay, so yeah, I think, Clay, obviously it's going to be a big game for those linebackers. But like you said, I think Dennis Allen is going to have a plan regardless to give those guys some help. And if you are able to have Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon back, is it feasible, Clay, that you could use a CJ Gardner-Johnson in almost like a linebacker run-stopping role as well? Is that a way that you could kind of keep him on the field when Kyler Gordon and Jaylon Johnson come back?
Yeah, you could definitely run some dime packages, and these guys, Kyler and CD, are athletic enough to get around blocks. Like it's tough for defensive backs to take on blocks from offensive linemen if they're in the box. But these guys are athletic enough and physical enough to where it's not really that big of a mismatch. CD Gardner-Johnson is a guy that is very physical. Yes, he can play slot. He can play safety. He's played safety in the past. Same with Kyler Gordon. He's a guy you heard Dennis Allen talking about, or Kevin Byard's presser talking about. Dennis Allen had guys playing multiple positions all spring, all training camp. They were learning a bunch of different things. He had Kyler Gordon playing outside. He had Kyler Gordon playing slot. He had Kyler Gordon playing safety. And then C.D. Gardner-Johnson, who is a former Eagle, he was all over the box. He was deep. He did a ton of stuff with the Eagles. He's one of the big reasons they were able to win the Super Bowl. I mean, this guy is a player, and I think that's a good catch there, Ruthie, because he's a guy that if you do dime, you're not giving up as much in the run game as you typically would with a defensive back.
I'm glad you brought that up because obviously this is somewhat of a homecoming game for C.D. Gardner-Johnson going back to Philly where he just won a Super Bowl. It's funny, Clay, on social media, yesterday I had a tweet about something that Vic Fangio said about Caleb Williams, which we'll get into a little bit later, but it kind of blew up. And I don't know if it got to the Philly fans or whatever, but, I've sort of been on like Philly fan Twitter like the last couple of days, and they're all talking about how much they miss having C.D. Gardner-Johnson on their team. It just feels like everyone's like, man, wish he could have stuck around. Like that he was such a great player, very physical. Like that's the kind of guy that I think, that's somebody that you want him to set the tone for your defense. Do you think that this Philly defense is missing him in any way, shape, or form?
Definitely. Their biggest problem is their third cornerback, Adoree Jackson. I mean, this guy, if there's a Where's Waldo, somebody you want to find on the field and just pick on him, it's Adoree Jackson. I think you need to throw the ball at this guy. And I think the beautiful thing about the Bears is last week they had 4 players with 5 targets. If you find a weak spot, you got playmakers in every position of your offense, and you can really exploit that. I think that's why Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles worked in lockstep together to get so many playmakers, because you don't want to just have a great outside receiver, a big time player. I mean, sometimes that works if you got a good enough player, but you want to be able to have guys at every spot. So now if there is a mismatch that you think in the slot, you say, okay, we love our matchup there. So now we're going to, factor him in, and he's probably going to take the leading role this week. If it's an outside cornerback they think they can pick on, you still got DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. So these two guys can pick on him. You got Luther Bird and Colson Loveland in the middle. I think CD Gardner-Johnson is definitely a guy they're missing. I know Reed Blankenship has been a guy that's missed a number of games. He's a really good safety. I think he's questionable. Cooper DeJean is playing at a very high level. They have one really good cornerback, Quinyon Mitchell, whoever he's on, just don't throw the ball to him. I mean, I'm confident in our receivers, but Quinyon Mitchell, in my opinion, is a top 5 cornerback. He's physical. He's a ball hawk. He does everything. He's really physical in the run game too. So I think there are some players you could pick on, and one of those is that backup safety position.
Okay, love it. And that's really going to be the matchup of maybe the weekend when you think about Vic Fangio, someone who has one of the most, if not the most respected defenses in the National Football League, going up against Ben Johnson, who has really put the league on notice with what he's been able to do, through 11 games with the Chicago Bears. What will be the key to Ben Johnson exploiting some of those holes? Who do you anticipate a big game from?
I anticipate a solid game from Colson Loveland. I think that the Eagles do have good linebackers. Zach Bond is a player. Jihad Campbell, the rookie. But these guys are more on the run game, run stuffers, and pass rushers. They're not guys.
You always love the tight ends. You always go for them. You always think that the tight ends are going to have a big game.
Yeah, but haven't they been having big games?
It's been a big part of this offense, Clay Harbor.
Yeah. Two guys I wanted to stay away from. This is something I found interesting off of Next Gen Stats. Quinyon Mitchell has forced the highest tight window throw percentage, 53.1 in the NFL. That just means he's covering, he's draped over you like a cheap suit. And of 20 targets downfield, Cooper DeJean's also good. Cooper DeJean has the most coverage snaps for a cornerback, 368 without allowing a touchdown. They need to protect, though. You got Jalen Carter on the middle, Nolan Smith on the outside, and then Jalen Phillips, who they just traded for. The 3rd-round pick has been playing excellent. Since joining the Eagles in Week 10, that's just 2 weeks, he has 13 pressures, and he's tied with Micah Parsons and Jermaine Johnson for the most pressures in the NFL, and his 21.3 pressure percentage over that time only trails Micah Parsons. This guy has been getting to the quarterback. He's going to be tough, so he can line up on either side of the formation. So I think Ozzy Trapilo, I just listened to Ben Johnson's presser. Yeah. He's not really saying who's playing Theo Ozzy. It is going to be a huge game for them. I mean, last week, Nick Herbig, very good player. The number 9 graded PFF pass rusher per grade. ESPN pass rush win rate, number 1. Nick Herbig was a good player. He didn't sniff the quarterback. He didn't get close to him. Good job by Ozzy. Good job by Ben in coming up with a plan. You had some chips, the running back, the tight ends, etc. But this week, D-line, I'm confident in our interior D linemen. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are beasts, but you still got Joe Thuney there. You got Jonah Jackson. Yeah. Is Jonah Jackson, what's his injury designation, Ruthie?
He's good. He wasn't on the injury report. Yeah, he got poked in the eye during the game. He missed the second quarter. But it sounds like he's good to go. So I believe he's not on the injury report. I'll triple check that. Yeah. But Clay,
if they're all healthy. With the Ozzy,
with the Ozzy situation, I wanted to ask you. Okay, as of what is today? Today's Wednesday. He was not Jonah Jackson not on Tuesday's injury report, so that's good news. He hasn't been on the injury report this week. So I wanted to ask you, because Ozzy played so well, if you're the head coach, what do you do if Theo's healthy?
It's only a 1-game sample size, so very small. He hasn't been really put on tape to be exploited. Right. What does this guy struggle with? It's like a hitter in MLB. They come out and they have a great year. Then the next year, you're like, wow, what happened to this guy?
Yeah.
Guess what? There's analytics out there of where to put the ball, what pitches he likes, what pitches he don't. Now, if Ozzy, there's a little bit on tape, you're going to know what pitches to throw him. You're going to know if you should bull rush him, should you speed rush him? And that's kind of what he ran into in training camp when some of the Bears defenders started realizing what Ozzy was good at, what he's not. I would love to see Ozzy get another opportunity, though. I think the way he played last week, he's your second-round draft pick. He's got a higher ceiling. And if he can be your left tackle moving forward, there are some that say he just doesn't have the build, doesn't have the athletic ability. I like Ozzy. I'm a big Ozzy fan. You know that from training camp, Ruthie. I used to say, Ozzy's a player, man. I like this kid. So I want to see Ozzy play. I love Theo, really good in the run game, very aggressive, populates to the ball every single play. I think it's a good problem to have, but I'd like to see Ozzy.
The good news is that Philly has to prepare for both of them. So that's the game. That's the gamesmanship that Ben Johnson likes to play. Let's talk about this Caleb Williams conversation, because Vic Fangio, huge praise for Caleb Williams in his press conference yesterday, talking about, his scramble ability, and Philly has faced a couple of scrambling quarterbacks this season already. And one of the reporters in Philadelphia asked him what sets Caleb Williams apart from some of those guys. And he said, other than him being probably the best at it, he said him and that guy up in New York, who I imagine he was talking about Jackson Dart, not Jameis Winston or Justin Fields or whatever. He said those two guys are elite at it, which I think is such high praise from someone with the experience and respect of Vic Fangio. Caleb is still, Clay, trying to find that balance of knowing when to use his legs, knowing when to throw it away, knowing when to check it down. There's still sort of this battle for him internally. How important will it be for him this week to be able to get rid of the football, protect the football, and make sure that, he's not making some of the mistakes that he made against Pittsburgh?
I'm nervous. Okay. I'm sorry.
There it is.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. The Eagles are allowing the lowest opponent completion percentage, 56.6 in the NFL. The Bears, Caleb Williams, has the lowest completion percentage of all starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Vic Fangio is an expert about disguising coverages.
Is JJ? I think JJ is lower than him, JJ McCarthy, but he hasn't played a lot of games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So JJ's lower.
But second lowest, yeah.
Yeah. They're allowing the fifth fewest points per games, and they're 17th in yards. Okay, this is a really good defense. They're going to mostly play a shell, but you got to know if it's quarters, which is basically what it sounds like. Each player, the cornerbacks and safeties, have a fourth of the field. If it's cover two, where you got two deep safeties that have a half of the field, and the cornerbacks have the curl flat type lanes, you got to be on the same page, because the Ben Johnson offense, a lot of these routes depend on what coverage you're getting. If you pop a cover three, your route's going to change. And if it's cover two, then if it's cover four, it's quarters. Vic Fangio is really good about disguising coverages, and these Eagles players are too.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure the quarterback is seeing it the same way as the wide receivers and these running backs to get to the same route, so you can play some efficient football. So that's something that's concerning to me, as well as everything I just mentioned. Caleb Williams, I found an interesting nugget, and this just fits right into what Vic Fangio was saying and why this guy is so good with his escapability. And it almost sounds fake, Ruthie. I don't know if I've shared this one with you, but according to Next Gen Stats, Caleb Williams has 3 carries of 20 plus miles an hour this season. It's hard to drive. It's hard. You're driving a car 20 miles an hour. You're going kind of fast. Okay, there's only 5 players with more. Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, bless you, Jahmyr Gibbs.
I was laughing. I
thought it was a sneeze. Oh, gosh.
Okay.
But Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Devon Achane. Caleb Williams has the 6th most 20-plus yard. This guy's fast. He's agile. He's got very good awareness. and he can get out the pocket. So, I mean, that's something that they got to prepare for.
Yeah.
And that's why Caleb was the number one pick in the draft, because he is special in those aspects as well as the arm talent.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be very important for him to protect the football also, Clay, because which he's, he hasn't turned the ball over a ton this year. He's been really good at it. Obviously, there was the big, sort of mistake that he made in the end zone against Pittsburgh. But it's going to be really important to protect the football, because if the Bears want to win the turnover battle, the Eagles don't turn the ball over, which I think is only 6 turnovers, I think, all season.
Lowest in the league, Ruthie,
lowest in the league, up against this Bears defense that leads the league in takeaways. How do you see that shaking out? Do we get another 𝗏𝗏𝗃 or Nahshon Wright interception in this game? What do you think will be the key to forcing the Eagles into making those mistakes on offense?
I think that the key is going to be getting some pressure. Jalen Hurts does not like to throw the ball over the middle of the field. He likes to throw singled up routes on the outside. So get him under pressure. Hurts is a guy that's got good escapability too. He's not as athletic as Caleb. He's not a Lamar Jackson type player, maybe not even a Josh Allen, but he's got good escapability. And I think if you want to create turnovers, you got to get pressure on him and get him uncomfortable. And I think the Bears are capable of that. Obviously, Montez Sweat has been coming to life. He's been heating up. As Ben Johnson said, I think he was doing something, Sweat heating up. Like I was in the steam room today. I was telling Ruthie, had a little just conversation.
Just a little.
Yeah. But if you get pressure on Hurts, he's a guy that doesn't turn the ball over, but you can get sacks. He'll take a sack rather than turn the ball over and rely on his defense. So it's going to be tough to get the turnovers regardless. And Saquon Barkley doesn't fumble. They got another running back, Tank Bigsby, who's really not a fumbler. They got a good two-headed monster there. I know they haven't been running the ball great of late, but you also got to make sure that you take care of Jalen Hurts in the run game, because he's a guy that will run, 3-4 times a game, and that's something you got to be cognizant of. But the turnovers are going to be hard to come by this week. I'd love to see 𝗏𝗏𝗃 going against his former team. He only played 1 year in Philly. Get an interception. I think that would be fitting. Too bad, TJ Edwards were not looking like he's playing.
Right.
It'd be nice to see TJ going against these Eagles too.
Yeah. We got you going up against your former team too. Clay, you know about what it's like to play in Philadelphia and sort of the restlessness of that fan base, especially coming off of
all too well,
brutal loss to the Cowboys just a couple days ago. If the Bears can force a 3-and-out, 𝗏𝗏𝗃 told us yesterday when I was up at Hallis Hall, he said it'd be nice to get those fans rooting against their own team. If we force the 3-and-out, those boo birds are going to be out. We'll hear those boos. What can you tell us about that environment and how important it is for the Bears to sort of come out strong, maybe make the Eagles play from behind and force that fan base into not cheering for their team?
Okay, if you're not familiar with Philadelphia, Chicago, I'm gonna tell you something here. You think that this team, these fans, this sports talk radio, TV team just won the Super Bowl last year. 3-3. This is a solid team, right? They got to be happy. Everybody's happy over there. Wrong. You listen, 𝗏𝗏𝗃 𝗟𝗏, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, is under fire. People are calling for him to get axed already. Fire 𝗏𝗏𝗃 𝗟𝗏. I mean, this offense, we can't run the ball. Jalen's not playing well. This guy's got 17 touchdowns, 1 interception, and people are saying, Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl last year. Jalen Hurts isn't the right guy. It's crazy to me. I love the fan base. They're very passionate. You got to realize these Eagles fans are generational Eagles fans. In Philly, I love the city. There's not much going on out there, man. They really care about their Eagles. They live, breathe, sleep, eat Philadelphia Eagles. I remember I was there with Andy Reid the year he got fired. We were 4-12, and Fire Andy chants would be breaking out every quarter of the game. We're getting booed. It's a tough city to play, and they hold their players to a high standard. If the
Mm-hmm.
Bears can come out hot in the first quarter, and the first quarter is the only quarter that they have a plus point differential, there's going to be a momentum swing there because there's going to be boos. There's going to be a lot of obscenities being thrown at the Eagles players and offense. And you look at their team. There's some me guys out there. If you look at A.J. Brown, you win a Super Bowl, you have 1,000 yards, you think this guy's probably pretty happy, right? You know, he's got a big contract, $100 million. No, he's reading books on the sideline. He's tweeting cryptic tweets after every game. They're using me, but they're not using me. There's a lot of dissension in this team, and if you can jump on them early, they're going to get a little bit tight, especially after blowing a 21-point lead to their rival, the Dallas Cowboys. And then something that I think is actually pretty fascinating. You look at the Eagles' last 7 drives, 8 possessions last week, punt, end of half, punt, 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 miss field goal, fumble on punt return, punt. Okay? So that's what the Eagles offense is coming into. So if you can hold them down for a few possessions, throw a couple more punts in there, maybe a fumble, maybe you get the butt. I don't know. Then this team will start reeling against this. Isn't the Eagles of old? Hurts me to say that I still love my Eagles, but yeah, there are some weaknesses there.
All right, Clay, we just got the injury report for today, and I think I had it a little confused. I'm so confused on the days of the week. Okay.
Yeah.
And today is Wednesday. Okay.
But it's so
we just got we'll get another injury report tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
So today, TJ Edwards again didn't participate. Ruben Hypolite didn't participate. Luke Newman, obviously, I know he came in and did a nice job for Jonah Jackson there. He has a foot. No Noah Sewell. So Clay, I got to ask you this because TJ Edwards obviously didn't go on injured reserve, meaning they anticipated that he'd be back before he missed 4 games. Do you think that something else happened, or do we think there was, was that a mess up by the front office? Like, what do you think about the TJ Edwards? The fact that he's not even practicing, not even limited yet, that's concerning, right?
Yeah. So I mean, this happens, but you're expecting a guy to heal up a certain way, and there was probably some sort of setback during training, maybe in the weight room, maybe in the training room. He's out in the field, he's getting close, and there's a little bit of a setback. It's happened to me a couple times, and it's just something that's part of the NFL. These players try to push themselves to get back on the field for their team. And TJ was probably doing everything he could to get back out there, and there's probably a little bit of a setback. And the thing that's interesting, too, I just looked at the injury report as well, Ruthie, and Tyreek Stevenson not playing. So
I was going to get there.
Yeah.
Well, Tyreek Stevenson didn't participate in practice. He's got the hip, and he's been playing through some stuff this year. It'll be interesting to see. I wonder if they are, careful with him, if they are in fact getting those other 2 corners back, which maybe is wishful thinking, but you could be a little bit more careful with Tyreek if you feel like Kyler and Jalen are, on their way back. The other thing that popped up today, he wasn't on the injury report yesterday, which is interesting. Gervon Dexter Sr. with a hand, so he was limited today. That must have popped up within the last 24 hours, which is interesting. You would think a hand, maybe not a huge deal for that position, right? You could
club it up.
Club it up.
When you're trying to tackle Saquon, even if he is averaging 2.8 in his last 3 games, I mean, you want all the extremities, all your phalanges, you want them all so you can grab this guy's jersey and keep him down for sure.
All right, Clay, I think we got to get into some game predictions here.
Ooh.
And I know. Listen, you looked at this game before the season and you said, oh, that's a loss, right, for the Bears. Yeah. I think that's sort of where it would be, people maybe thought, okay, that's going to whoever you are, you thought that was going to be a tough game, looking at the schedule, where it is in the season. I think a lot of people are maybe a little bit more confident in the Bears being able to pull something off here now, not just because of the Eagles haven't looked like they looked not as dominant as they were last year, but also just because the Bears have been so surprising and such a fun story. So the Bears have shocked the world and could go into Philadelphia, upset the Super Bowl champs, 7-point underdogs. It's not out of the question, but it's probably unlikely. Clay, where do you stand?
Yeah, I think, the Eagles coming off of a 21-point loss. We already talked about their last possessions, just all punts and fumbles. No Lane Johnson. Saquon last 3, only 2.8 yards per carry. Fire 𝗵𝗶 chants breaking out everywhere. Bears are coming in, winning 7 of their last 8, Ruthie. You see which way I'm heading here. I am going...
Okay, they've won 8 of their last 9.
8 of the last 9. What did I say? 7 of the last 8?
Mm-hmm.
8 of the last 9. I'm not trying to cut them short of a game.
Okay.
I'm still going with the Eagles in this one. This is still the defending champions. You still got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, a solid defense, Vic Fangio versus Ben Johnson. My popcorn's already waiting for this matchup. 2 of the best in the league right there. I got the Eagles scoring 27. You know what score I'm going with, Ruthie? The Bears scoring 24.
I hear ya. I think, listen, this is a huge opportunity for the Bears. And regardless of the X's and O's, regardless of the talent disparity, potential talent disparity, especially when you think about the Eagles offense going up against this decimated Bears defense, despite all of it, I think the head coach is, when you look at the coaching matchup, Ben Johnson's got a great shot here when it comes to looking at not Vic Fangio, Sirianni. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, Vic Fangio is calling the defense. Nick Sirianni is going to make a silly decision on fourth down. Nick Sirianni is going to be the guy. We haven't even talked about him in this podcast because it's all Vic Fangio. Deservedly so. I trust Ben Johnson in this game more than I trust Nick Sirianni.
Is she going to do it?
Make these decisions. I think the Bears have a huge opportunity, and I think Ben Johnson is in front of the team this week, making sure conveying that to his team. They don't think we can beat anyone. Everyone's talking about that we haven't beaten anyone this year. Let's go in there and let's show them that we're a real football team. We're a serious football team. We're going to out-physical the Super Bowl champs. I think that's the guy that Ben Johnson is. I think he's used that as fuel. You see him in the locker room after the game saying, they didn't think we could win. We don't have any linebackers.
We don't have any linebackers. We don't have any linebackers.
Are we going to beat him with no linebackers? I think he likes to use some of that as motivation when appropriate. I unfortunately cannot get myself to pick the Bears.
Oh.
But I think they have a huge opportunity, and I think they have a chance to do it. If they keep this game close in the fourth quarter and Caleb Williams gets the ball in his hands at the end of the game to go make a play, this is someone who loves the spotlight. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, they thrive in that situation and that environment. The world is watching, and the whole world will be watching because it's streaming free on Amazon Prime. I think this is so juicy, and it's going to be such a great game, and I'm so excited for it. The Bears have a chance here, but I am going to go ahead and pick the Eagles just because I don't have the cojones.
To pick the
Bears.
Yeah.
But you see everyone's picking the Eagles, and I hope that's plastered in the locker room this week, that no one's giving the Bears a shot. And I'll put my name on that too. I can't get myself to pick the Bears. They're the champs until they're not. And I just think the Bears' injuries on defense are just going to be really hard to overcome. However, it'll be close, and they're going to have a shot. I'm picking the Eagles. I haven't even given my score yet for the Big Pro Football Show. I'll do it right now here with you, Clay. I'm going to go
drum roll, please.
I'm going to go 25 to 21.
21, okay.
25 to 21.
Okay.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Bears can protect the football.
Yeah.
Also, DeAndre Swift is not on the injury report for the first time in a long time here, Clay. Homecoming game for Swifty. Go off, King.
Go
Okay,
off. Yeah.
go
Let's
off,
see.
King. It could be a great opportunity to run the football, get back on track. I know they didn't run the ball the way they really wanted to against the Steelers. Um, I think this is a great opportunity for the two-headed monster to rear its head. 𝗵𝗏 DeAndre Swift, run the ball, control the clock, own time of possession. You'll give yourselves a shot. I'm just not picking them. I'm scared. No. 𝗵𝗏, this was a blast. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for the Bears this year, for the parity in the league. It's been a really fun year. I'm obviously thankful for you and David Haw and our great producer Casey on the Big Pro Football Show. It was a ton of fun. I'm thankful for the gym. I'm thankful for my family, and I probably took this a little bit further than you were expecting.
No, it's
But
great.
yeah. I'm thankful for a lot of things. How about you,
I love
Ruthie? What
that.
are you thankful for?
Well, he took the words out of my mouth. I am so thankful for CHSN and the Big Pro Football Show. I know this sounds like propaganda, but you guys have become like family the last year, which has just been such a joy. I was texting with David earlier today. I told him I listened to the Mully and Haw show on my whole drive here. It was 4.5 hours. It was perfect, So I got to listen to the whole show. The whole show, start to finish. Didn't miss a minute.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I was texting with him. I was like, thanks for keeping me entertained on my drive.
You probably got
and
so
I just
much
said,
information up here now from just
I got so
listening
much.
to,
I got so much. I love the Mully Haw show. Because they don't have a show tomorrow, so I think they did all their it was sort of their last day to do stuff. But I was texting with David. I was asking him what he's doing this weekend, and I said we get to be with our football family on Friday because we'll watch the game together. I want to give us a little plug here as well because we will have a Big Pro Football Show on Friday, which I'm so excited about. The game's at 2:00. We go on at 5:30. Right. Hopefully it'll be right as the game is ending, if not just ended. So make sure you flip on over to CHSN. We'll give you a little bit of a abbreviated post-game show on CHSN, which I'm very excited about. You'll get sort of our real-time reaction. But yeah, you guys are like family to me, and I'm so excited to watch that game with you guys on Friday. And maybe we'll even go get a little post-game bevy.
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know.
Who are we not to?
Why not? So I hope everyone here has a happy Thanksgiving. We are so thankful to our listeners and our viewers because we don't exist without you. And so thank you for listening and watching and commenting and tweeting and all the engaging with us. We're so grateful. It doesn't get old. And it's kind of a pinch me moment every time we get to go on the air because we're just doing a show with our best friends and we have a blast doing it. So 𝗵𝗏, Saul, who is getting a little tryout here for Edgar. No, he's doing a great job, obviously. We're so excited to welcome Saul, hopefully, to this team permanently. And we will check in with you guys next week. Otherwise, we'll see you on the Big Pro Football Show on Friday at 5:30. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. We love you.